Hi guys, happy Halloween. Welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Jo Labbé. We are here on this Halloween Eve to do healing and to get messages from the divine, however we perceive that. And we will do the card messages at the end of the show after we do our healing meditation. And I'm here as part of Star Nation's radio network. And this is our Be Live TV app platform. This helps us reach more people and kind of get the healing out and get the energy flow going. So welcome and happy Halloween. I see there's a few people in the house already and some people who've already asked for cards. So of course I'm going to pull cards for you guys. Hi, Anne. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, Christine. Nice to see you guys. And, we're going to wait. Oh, and Rob, too. I see Rob is in the house. So tonight, it's Samhain. It's a time of, for the Celtic New Year, this is New Year's. So it's kind of cool that we, celebrate this time. And for, other traditions, this is the midway point between fall and winter. And some of us have been noticing it's been getting darker and staying darker longer because we're heading into the darkness, and this is when people speak about the veil being really thin to the other side. And it's a time when, in some faith traditions, we can, contact our ancestors, or we can really feel their presence. So this is like such. Yes, Samhain is actually Samhain. Sorry, I always say that wrong. Is actually outside the year. Yes, it kind of falls outside. And when I studied the goddess tradition, this is, part of the energy. Like I said, it's the midway point between fall and winter. And it's a time of sort of rebirth, really sending out the old, saying thank you to all the things that have died this year. And people have taken that to the extreme of, just the ancestors. But, we've had some bad ideas go by the wayside. We've had some bad relationships go by the wayside. And this is a time to say, thank you for what you taught me, but out you go and you sweep it out the door. So tonight, as we're doing our healing, what do you want to let go of? What would you like to say goodbye of and to put it in the past pile rather than it's currently giving you trouble pile? Because that's what we have the opportunity to do each and every week. But, today has a lot of juice to it because of the energy flow. And, I'm excited that it feels like new birth to me. Like part of time for new change to come in, time for all the old stuff to kind of shed and disappear. When I had my dance studio a few years ago, I really enjoyed having the kids come for an entire week. I let them come in their costumes and they got to have, special treat bags for me. I was much more of the stickers, pencils, toys kind of treat giver because, I knew they were going to get plenty on Halloween. But it was kind of nice to have that extra time with them. And my dance team, my company, would put on a special Halloween day, basically, where there was a festival for the little kids where they got to play games and paint pumpkins, and everybody got an award for their costume. And then the older kids came later in the evening and they got to invite their friends, and we did this Halloween kind of dance party. So it was a safe place for people to enjoy the holiday, and then it gave me Halloween night free, because I had already given out to a huge part of the community. So, tonight is a night where we can kind of do the same. We can take this night for ourselves. We can see what we can release, and then we can ask for guidance through our cards about what's ready to come in, or what really is ready to let go. And I just think that is such a cool, positive place to be. And I know that, I'm thankful for those of you who are willing to show up on Halloween, because I know this can be a time when, we've got kids, we're out and about, and that's great. And for those of us whose kids are, past that age, my baby is 27. I don't have to worry about taking him out trick-or-treating any longer. It's been quite a while. So make sure you guys, get a chance, like and share this broadcast for people who might also be kind of around and taking time for themselves, because maybe they'd like to squeeze in some messages or some healing this evening, which is really cool. All right. So let's get to it. How's that sound? So welcome. I saw a number of you pop on. I saw Christine, Jill, and Christina, and Jacqueline, and Minnie, and Neshi. So hi guys, glad to have you in the house. Rob says I stopped trick-or-treating at 43. Well, and hi Mary Ellen, nice to see you. This is probably, one of those sad things, but I'm actually looking forward to the possibility of grandchildren, to do that again. Because, I trick-or-treated with my kids. And then when my kids got to be older teenagers, we actually took my younger nephews trick-or-treating. So that was kind of a cool thing. It gave them permission to kind of keep going trick-or-treating. But it also gave them some time to bond a little bit with their younger cousins. And so that was kind of nice to have that for a long period of time. And my students last weekend, from my third year students, we actually dressed all in costumes last Saturday. So I had them dressed as an archetype, some aspect of who they truly are that was kind of maybe hiding a little bit inside. So I went as a phoenix. I had a lot of fun being a phoenix. So you guys ready? Rob says, oh, I have no kids. I just stopped trick-or-treating at 43. I know, right? There's a lot of fun to it kind of going around. We have two really big trick-or-treat things nearby. If you head down my road in one direction, it's the town of Florence. So it's a couple miles down the road. And in the center of town, they do what they call the Rag Shag Parade around here. And so the Rag Shag Parade is everybody shows up in costumes, and they have kind of, it's a little parade, a little parade of the kids in their costumes. And then they go trick-or-treating in the downtown businesses and the houses that are along this little route. And they do it both in Florence and in the other direction from my house, about the same distance. I think it's about 2.5 miles. They have one in Haydenville. So where we live and the houses are far apart and there's not much lighting, they wanted to keep the kids safe. So they created these little parade places. And then a lot of people who live in the outskirts like me, we donate candy to people that we know who live in the center of town. And so they don't have this monstrous candy bill. So yes, woohoo. All right, so let's see what kind of treats you guys can have in your card readings in a little bit. So let's get a little bit of healing done first. So as I said, there's a lot of energy up this evening. So if you've got something that you have been holding on to and you'd like to let go, perfect time. Or if there's something you really would love to create in your life, think about it and let's see if we can clear whatever's keeping you from that. Any doubt, any worry, any worthiness issues. Yeah, let's get rid of that so that you can have some cool new things happen to you in this new part of this season. All right.
Yeah.
And for those of you who haven't experienced one of these sessions before, you're going to hear me make clearing noises. They sound a little like a burp, or sometimes they can be louder, like a squawk kind of noise. That's me moving energy for the entire group. I don't know what the energy is. I can just feel the density and I'm tossing it out. And then you might also hear the elder speak, but he's been a little silent on air in the last couple weeks, but that doesn't mean you won't hear him because he's been very vocal in person. All right, you guys, you ready? So we're going to start by getting ourselves comfortable. You want your arms and your legs uncrossed because we don't want to cross any of our circuits. And if you can, really try to keep your feet or your body connected to the floor somehow. Or if you're laying down on a bed, just really make sure that you're fully connected to the bed. Some people like to sit on a chair with their feet tucked up under them. And then you're really keeping your bottom circuit from connecting to the earth energy. So we want to have the earth energy flowing with us as well as the divine. And if you're sitting on the floor, make sure if your legs, unless you're sitting in an absolutely perfect lotus position, I would uncross your legs and make sure that they're stacked on top of each other, because that way you're keeping the bottom circuit flow open.
Yeah.
And so you're going to begin by calling in the divine, however you perceive that. So whether you see that or experience that as God or creator or the oneness or goddess, all that is, however you connect to the divine, I invite you to open that connection in this moment.
Yeah.
And we ask the divine energy of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we set the intention that the healing and the messages this evening are for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to begin by calling in the divine energy through and to the top of your head. Just take a moment to experience what your connection feels like. Do you feel heat or pressure or sense light?
Yeah.
Do you notice tingling? Or do you simply have an awareness that the divine energy is hovering gently above you?
Yeah.
We're going to invite the divine energy to come in and begin to clear in our third eye, in our intuitive space.
Yeah.
And as it does that, really calling all of our energy that we've stretched in each and every direction back into our body, back into ourself, back into this moment now.
Yeah.
So any energy that you may have stretched into the past or left connected to the past events, past traumas, or thoughts and beliefs about what has happened, really call that energy back to your breath and your heartbeat now.
Yeah.
And all the energy that you have stretched into the future, the energy that is worrying or anxious about what could be or what might be, or that to-do list that you have to get done by a certain time, just really know that all of that will be there when we are done. But right now, this moment is for you. You, your healing, your being, your divine connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really calm any thoughts that are spinning in your head. Be aware of them, but don't focus on them. Just allow yourself to be like, that's there, and bring yourself back, because they will still be there when you are finished.
Yeah.
And invite all of your senses to begin to work together as a team once more. For as the 6 senses pair up, you are able to experience more clarity, more knowing, because you are receiving your information and your messages on multiple frequencies and vibrations.
Yeah.
And you are able to sense in each and every direction, in every dimension,
Yeah.
that you are open to experiencing. And bringing the energy down into the throat and the jaw, and really loosening all the ways you've really held on to your voice, or you've felt stifled from being able to speak your truth.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
And releasing the energy of harsh words spoken.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
Whether you've spoken them or you've received them, just really releasing any fear or anger
Yeah.
that has blocked your true self-expression.
Got it. Got it.
And really releasing the tension and the tightness that you hold onto in the back of your neck because of this.
Got it. Yeah. Got it.
And even at the base of the skull, where the divine loves to share inspiration with you. But if it's all congested in that spot, it's hard to receive inspiration.
Yeah.
and moments of breakthrough. And going to our shoulder blades and really allowing all of the responsibilities that we carry there to gently just slide off for this moment. In this moment, you're only responsible for you and your breathing and your being. No pressure, no gravity, just you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And releasing all the energy that you carry for others, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Allowing that to gently ease off your shoulders as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And off of the base of the neck. Now moving into your lungs and your rib cage and your heart, and really allowing space for divine air to fill and cleanse and restore your lungs and your oxygen supply.
Yeah. Yeah.
Releasing all the tightness that we hold in our breath from anxiousness, from fear, from worry.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And just really making space for fresh breath to come through. Releasing all that old held on to breath. And for those of you who have smoked in the past,
God.
releasing any toxic energy that's sitting in the bottom of the lungs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And granting your space room for your lungs to feel free and full once more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then moving into the heart and really feeling the heart expand, clearing any sadness or disappointment, grief, or even just hurt feelings that may be lingering in there.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Nice job. And connecting with your inner child and just allowing them space to enjoy themselves again, releasing them from any of their responsibilities or burdens that they've carried for you, any wounding that they're holding on to for you.
Yeah.
And especially on this day, allowing them room to have fun and play
Yeah. Yeah.
and the joy of make-believe and magic in all parts of your life.
got it,
Creation energy. They want to help you create some beautiful things in your life.
got it, got it,
And now connecting to that inner adult part of you, the one who carries all the responsibilities so heavily and is often stuck in doing. Just give them a moment of peace and tranquility to just be. There's nothing to do right now, just be.
got it, got it, got it,
A freedom that creates for them.
got it, got it,
And connecting to the inner warrior and also giving them a moment of peace. Thanking them for all the times they've been ready to help you deal with the battles that you've faced,
got it,
but that you no longer need to worry about in this particular moment.
got it, got it,
You can teach your warrior how to be at peace in this moment. And connecting to the sage elder part of you, that part that is connected to the Akashic records, that part that holds all the knowledge of all your lifetimes.
got it,
So when you open clear communication with, you are able to have instant knowing on many different things because it is simply a remembering from when you last learned it.
got it, got it,
And moving into your belly and just really releasing that anxiousness that's there, that stress that you've been holding on to, worry,
got it,
and a ton of frustration. And I know things don't always go the way we want them to, or people don't always respond in the way we wish they would. We don't have to hold on to that energy.
got it, got it, got it,
So really just letting any of that frustration, anger, energy just go. It is so heavy in your belly. And it is making it so difficult for your organs to work lovingly with you.
got it,
And taking the energy of this evening to let go of anything that is squeezing your self-esteem, squeezing your self-worth,
got it,
any energy that makes you feel like there's not enough or that you're too much. Just let that go.
got it,
Because that is congesting so much of life that you could love and appreciate
got it,
if you weren't bogged down by that energy. If you could take a moment and feel deserving and worthy.
got it,
Because you are. You just truly are.
yeah, yeah,
Releasing any energy that is in your back. Some of you have held on to some energy behind your neck, between your shoulder blades, in your middle back, and even near your tailbone. And those are all connected to times when you've had to really push through something you didn't want to do. And there's some old anger attached to that you had to will your way through,
yeah,
that you gave away more than you ever received in that energy. So your energy is pushed out of alignment with your spine, and really let that release to bring you some relief.
yeah,
Just give a moment for your divine energy to fill your spine so that you can feel lovingly held in this moment.
yeah, 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 yeah,
There you go, guys. Beautiful. And moving down into that second chakra right below the belly. This can be our tough spot sometimes. This is where all of our emotions flow from, where all creativity and abundance get their flow from. And when our flow is out of sync or out of balance, that's when we have the cravings or the feelings of being out of sync with our own energy. We activate any addiction energy that might be stored in there.
yeah,
And really sending that space unconditional love. Because it houses our feelings of sexuality, it houses our money energy, it houses some of our power energy. And so if sex, money, or power become distorted, our whole energy flow shifts in our entire being. So imagine those waters calming in a gentle flow. And really honoring this time and the struggles that you've been through and the lessons you've been working on so diligently.
yeah,
And bringing the energy down into our first chakra through our hips, down below our tailbone, and really checking into the last energy that holds how safe, how connected, how grounded we feel. It connects our stability in our financial world, in our relationships, in our home. and it allows all of our basic needs to get met. And returning our power to meet those needs ourselves.
Yeah.
And allowing all the energy to flow down both our legs, giving us flexibility and the ability to just handle what comes in our lives rather than it knocking our feet out from under us.
Yeah.
Releasing the stuckness in our knees or the tightness in our calves, our Achilles.
Yeah.
And as the energy moves out of our feet and begins to connect to the earth energy beneath us, really allowing the energy to flow all the way down through all the layers of the earth, way to the very center of the earth. Because then it connects to the earth mother, the divine feminine energy, and it's returned back to original creation energy.
Yeah.
So you're sending it down and allowing it to be transmuted and transformed into brand new creation energy. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And now we invite the divine feminine, the earth energy, to come in and fill us up through our feet and all the nooks and crannies. So everything we are willing to release, now we can fill in with brand new creative energy to move us in new and beautiful ways in our life and on our path and in our mission.
Yeah.
And just feel how that energy, as it's coming up and fills your spine, that's what's now supporting you. That's what's now guiding and filling you. Filling in all your bones and your tissues and your muscles. And it's what's pumping through your bloodstream. And really focus on how it fills your heart in all the chambers. Giving a little more space, a little more room for your heart to stretch and grow and hold even more love and compassion. And compassion for yourself, love for yourself first, so that you have space to actually share love with others. And allowing the energy to flow down your arms and into your hands, so that all that you give and all that you receive is filled with this energy as well. And allowing it to move all the way to the top of your head and bubbling over around you, filling and restoring your aura in all its beautiful layers, in each and every direction, each and every dimension, repairing tears or holes or places where trauma froze your energy in a moment, and in the freezing, it broke apart. And really restoring and repairing it in this beautiful love energy that is flowing around and through you. Feeling on the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual levels.
Yeah.
and even allowing the healing to move back through past lives and clearing up some of your karmic debt. And sending healing energy to those who prayed for it, those who have been asking the divine for assistance, and just directing love and healing in their direction. And if they are meant to receive it, they will. And if they're not meant to, it will go to someone else in need. And sending healing to the earth herself, releasing any stuck energy that she keeps trying to shake loose through storms and other natural events. So just easing her load and her vibration so that she doesn't have to work so hard either. In gratitude for all that she provides for us.
Yeah.
And now take a moment of gratitude to your spiritual team who's been here guiding and assisting you. Your angels, your guides, your ancestors.
Yeah.
And now gently begin to bring yourself back into this moment. You can begin to stretch or yawn. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, whatever you need. All right. So, time for messages. So I'm going to read messages in the order that they were written in the comment section because that's the easiest way for me to keep track. And so the way I do that is I will post whose card I'm pulling. And so that way, for those of you who are worried, you'll be able to see that I'm right in line and I'm getting to you. And so if you haven't asked for a card and would like one, just type in yes, please, and I will make sure to get to you. I will read through everybody who's live first. And then if for some reason you're watching this in the recording, you can still say yes, please. I do my best to get back to you. My schedule has been really hectic. So if you've asked for a card after like Friday afternoon, there's times that I don't get back to you, and I apologize for that. I just have a really intense teaching schedule right now, actually through the end of the year, but you can still ask for a card and I will do my best to get one to you. All right, so I'm going to start with Rochelle. Let me see if I can get this up. There we go. I'm going to hide my name. All right, Rochelle. So I'm going to start with you first, and then I'll pull Deb's card. All right, so your card sweetness is Ganesh. And this is really the feminine embodiment of Ganesh. So Ganesh is perfect, because especially for today, because Ganesh is all about clearing away obstacles. And she also provides protection and gives you guidance. So I always think of Ganesh as we visually are walking a particular path, right? And we get to a part in the road and there's this big boulder. And, it's hard for us to go around or go above it. And we don't necessarily have the strength to move it out of our own way, right? And that's how things show up in our lives. They like pop up and then we're like, I don't know if I can get around this or through this. And so Ganesh is the one to call on to help you with any of these obstacles. So anything that you're having a really hard time with right now, that is just a struggle for you, you can ask Ganesh to help you move through this. And as you ask Ganesh for help, Ganesh also gives you a layer of extra protection and opens an extra channel for guidance to come through. So who wouldn't want a little extra guidance to come through? So when you feel that energy, you can call on Ganesh. And it doesn't matter, people worry about, well, I'm Christian or I'm Jewish or I'm whatever, can I really call on these Hindu or other deities, right? Well, the divine doesn't know or understand the difference between our religions. So like you can be of any religion and call to Buddha. You can be to any religion and call to Jesus for help and guidance, or you can be any religion and call on the angels. The same is with Ganesh. And she really is such a lovely being of light, that she is just here to help you get out of your own way. That's part of the obstacle sometimes, is we're in our own way. All right, my dear. And so the one for Deb is the Sacred Heart. So the Sacred Heart is all about calling in a higher level of passion, a higher level of love, a higher level of connectedness with the divine. Sometimes people talk about, like, when you're doing meditation or contemplation, you're in communion with the divine. I think of when we're in that Sacred Heart, it's our universal heart. It's the heart that connects us to every being on the earth plane and in the universe. And you feel the connectedness between all of us. And so when you tap into that Sacred Heart, you're also tapping into a higher perspective of love, a higher perspective of compassion. Sometimes we have to deal with people who just really test our patience, and it's really hard to find that compassion and find that higher heart energy. And I try my best to notice the other person's maybe having their wounds are talking to me, not the person. Their wounded child is talking to me. And when I have somebody whose wounded child is talking to me, it's a lot easier not to take it personally, and a lot easier for me to find compassion for the wounded being that is causing so much difficulty around themselves, and I get caught up in their spiral, right? So this is giving you permission to call in a higher version of yourself and a higher spirituality to help you with what's going on right now. Okay? All right. So next we're going to move to Rob and Julie. So I'm going to pull Julie's card first. Woohoo! Julie, your card is the Dream. So her energy is reminding you how connected you are to spirit in your dreams. Don't dismiss the dreams you're having. I feel like I should be like wagging my finger and pounding my fist. There's meaning in the dreams. And if you don't get what the dreams mean, ask somebody else. Because sometimes we need someone else's perspective on interpreting dreams. We get caught up in our own way. If you're in a dream with a car, who's driving the car? And how much control is there? Are you on a road? Are you near water? All of these things have substantial meaning. Are there any animals or beetles or bugs or anything that are in the dream? Those all have meanings. Specific words or symbols have meanings. Colors have meanings. So you are getting a ton of information in your sleep time. And I don't know if you're not remembering your dreams or if you aren't writing them down quick enough for them to sort of take hold and for you to work with them. I have a dream journal. I recommend this for everybody that I keep by my bed. So when I get startled awake from a dream, I just write down what I remember in that moment. And then I just close it and I go back to sleep. I'm not trying to think about it. I'm not trying to figure it out in that moment. I ground it on the paper so it's there for me to look at. But then my team also knows that I got that piece of the message. So if I missed part of the message when I fall back asleep, they can give me the next segment of the dream and I can get that written down. Or they can do it in a different way so I get the meaning. If it's clear that I didn't get the meaning, they can try again. So really tap into your dream journal. And if you're having trouble with interpretation, reach out to someone who is good at that. Because there are a number of people you know who are good at that. All right, Anne, welcome to the show, sweetie. So your card, Anne, is Moonlight. I love this one because the moon is reflecting in all that water. So this particular card has a lot to do with travel, moving forward, but it is travel and romance and potential, creative potential. And so it has a lot of flow energy to it. It has a lot of second chakra energy to it. So it can be emotional flow and whatnot, but there's this calm serenity in the moonlight. The water in the picture is very calm, but it is inviting you to travel and move forward. So if you're not looking to travel soon, then look at, where is your romance going at the moment? Is it time to create some movement in that direction? Because even when we're in a relationship, we get stagnant. Sometimes we take the other person for granted. And one of the things that has been really clear from my spiritual team is if you want something from a partner or a potential partner, you have to give that out first. So if you want to hear compliments on how you look and how you feel and how beautiful you are, well then say so. Say, ooh, you look handsome tonight. I really like what you're wearing. When was the last time you said that, right? And all of that then comes back to you. And there's a lot of potential in this. So if it's not to do with travel and if it's not to do with romance and it has more to do with like an unexpressed opportunity, then really lean forward because there's a lot of movement in the moonlight energy. There's a lot of creation energy for women in particular in the moonlight. And, here it is. Halloween is always connected to the moon, regardless of where the moon cycle is on Halloween. We always imagine it with the fullest, brightest moon that there's possible. So use this time for creating new things. Woohoo! All right, Christine. Nice, sweetie. Your card is healing. There's those beautiful heart rays that are coming out. So this is all about healing yourself, reconnecting to your raw, beautiful essence. being open, being vulnerable, to being your true you. Taking all the masks off, because Halloween is only meant to be one day a year, right? So take off the masks of who you're not and really allow yourself to see who's underneath, who you really want to be. And if you're uncomfortable with that, what's making you uncomfortable? What's blocking you, sweetie, from being your true being? Because that's what needs healing. That's what needs love and compassion. Because you are a beautiful divine being. And any thoughts that you have that don't align with that, those need to go, and that needs to be healed. We have our worst inner critic, and it has the nastiest bark and the nastiest bite, and we would never treat other people or say things to other people that we say so harshly to ourselves. So let's take some time for you to heal that piece of you, because your true being would love to shine through fully and completely. And I'd love to help you with that. All right. All right, Jill. Your card is the Enchanted Forest. Nice. And I know you have a beautiful, strong nature connection. So the Enchanted Forest is reminding you of all the mystery and the magic that nature holds. When we get bogged down in our everyday life and our doing, we forget and we misplace our magic. And for you and a lot of people, the magic is in our connection to nature and our connection to Mother Earth. I'm actually hearing like a drum beating, like a journey drum. That's really reminding you of the heartbeat of the earth and the heartbeat of the mother. And there's fairies that are dancing and calling to you, wondering where you've been. And when we forget how magical we are, our life gets stuck and stagnant. And when our life is stagnant, we start to attract illness. And I know that's been something up for you. So allow the magic and nature to heal you. And I just keep hearing this drum. So I don't know if you have a drum or if you have access to recordings of drums healing, but even having a sound healing with the drum vibrating over you can be really powerful. All right, Christina, of course you can have a card, dear. Your card is loss. And as you're heading into your school weekend, this may be what's coming up to release. And so the loss is about old grief and old sadness, but it's in the release of them, releasing the old grief, releasing the old sadness, and the resurrection of the true Christina that is underneath there. So when we are in resurrection energy, we shed all of those pieces, all of those parts of ourselves that are stopping us from moving into a lighter, fuller vibration. And so grief and sadness are heavy. They weigh a lot. They have a lot of density. And sometimes we're grieving our inner teenager and what they had to go through and how they felt and all the ways they didn't think they fit in. And when we can travel to our teenager and hold them and love them and say, look at, you're going to turn into this amazing woman that I am right now, and filled with love and healing and magic, that can heal through the grief and the sadness at those points and times that you held on to. All right. All right. All right, Jacqueline. Your card is the Eternal Dance. Look at her go. So the eternal dance is the natural movement. You know, we aren't meant to stand still. Even trees move, right? They may be grounded, but they move with the planet. They move with the wind, and things aren't meant to stay still. When you're still, you're stuck, and you're going against the flow. And so when you are in the eternal dance, you're going with the flow, and you're willing to make adjustments. You're willing to notice where you resist and say, okay, I'm not going to resist anymore. And then you move. Does that make sense? I know my feed, it might be, you might be having trouble with my feed, but I'm doing the best that I can right now. So you are in a space where you've got to remember that just keep moving, just keep going through. When you feel resistance or you come up against resistance, know that it really resides inside of you, and expand and open and allow yourself to release that in a new and beautiful way, okay? All right. Minnie, of course. Your card, my dear, is Winter's End. Interesting. So the energy that happens at the end of winter is that readiness for new things to bloom. It's a time when the earth is gently regenerating. It is in the process of rebirth, and it's about to lead to some beautiful positive things. So, you know, you've been through some change. You've been through some stuckness. That's what I'll call it. And so now you've started to make some shifts. You've started to make some changes. And the new Minnie and your new business are being reborn in a more beautiful, real way. That may sound strange. You did a lot of people pleasing. That's what I'm feeling. You did a lot of people pleasing, a lot of smiling and nodding, and compensating for other people what they wanted. This is that's all in the past. Now it's just Minnie shining through, and it's so raw and so authentic that people are just going to be flocking to it because they just feel the truth behind it. The more we're in our core, more we're in that being, the more we are a magnet for attracting some amazing people. So there's some beautiful, positive things heading your way. Woohoo! All right, Nessie. Of course. All right, your card is Achievement. Look at that amazing lotus flower and all the water around it and the light shining in the middle. So the Achievement card is reminding you all that you've achieved. We sometimes are focused on all that we need to do, and we forget to celebrate all that we've achieved. And they're saying, you've achieved all this stuff. Stay focused on your dream, but celebrate all of the accomplishments. You know, there's been a lot of change, a lot of rapid change going on, But there's so many positive things to celebrate. And so when we get caught in the negative, we're focused on the stuff that hasn't gotten done, not on the 4 million things that did get done, right? So make sure that, especially when you get tired or stressed, focus on your accomplishments, but stay really on the path of the dream. Nice. All right, Mary Ellen. All right, Mary Ellen, your card is Lost Love. And lost love is a lot more to do with how do I phrase this? When we've spent a lot of time pleasing others until we've bent over backwards, and even the best contortionist couldn't stay in that pose for very long. And when we do that, we are in a place where we compromise how much we love and take care of ourselves. So it doesn't mean that you're not losing love in some other way, but the real focus is on, it's time to kind of surrender. That's the best word that's coming up. Yeah, that's the best word. That's the closest word that they can give me. It's time to surrender to the divine. It's time to simply just be like, okay, I'm letting go of this. Let go of the self-hatred. Let go of the way you've criticized yourself. Because when we have relationships where we think there's love involved, but then there's so much negativity, it's because we're holding so much negativity inside ourselves, and it's being mirrored by the other person. So this is a time for you to let go and let the divine take over. It's a time to heal all the wounded spots that you are willing to look at. And oh my goodness, drink a ton of water. Like, you feel so dehydrated, like lifetimes of dehydrated. And so if you are drinking water, then get into water, get into a pool, get into the ocean, get into a bathtub, get into a shower, and allow the sacredness of the water to help restore and cleanse you. Okay? All right. So Cindy Lynn, your card, my dear, is peace. Perfect. Perfect. So this is a time to come back to your inner peace. And if you're having difficulty finding it at times, using these kind of meditations to sort of dissolve the unwanted thoughts, to get ourselves out of the past, get ourselves out of the future. Really bring our focus back into the present, into the moment, into now. Then our heart is able to expand and feel peace and feel joy. And don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame others. Because blame energy is so heavy. It's so heavy on the heart. Like, I should have known better. I could have seen this. Why did I do that? Like, whoosh, take all that energy off of your heart and get rid of those thoughts. I just keep saying, like, swoosh them out. Because then you'll be able to be back in your center and be at peace. And I know you've been working on that. And remember, you're worthy and you deserve peace. You actually deserve to release the turmoil. You deserve to be at peace. Okay? Because that is how you are meant to be and how you are meant to live. All right? Michelle. Michelle, your card is the yin yang. Can you see the yin yang at her forehead and in her throat? Which is great because it's the third eye and the fifth chakra, the fifth and sixth, working together in harmony and balance. And so this card is all about creating harmony and balance. And that happens when we are able to calm our thoughts and we're able to speak our truth. When we have clarity in our vision and we're able to speak from that place, we start to have harmony. And it all happens when our heart is wide open to possibilities, wide open to the divine, wide open to being our sacred selves, like not pretending to be somebody else just to make them happy, right? Just be you. If somebody else doesn't like it, then they're not meant for you. And I know that sounds simplistic, but boy, it's so true. You know, we do all these acrobatic tricks to make other people happy. And in the end, they're not happy because they're just not happy. You can't make someone else feel something, and someone else can't make you feel something. If you're somebody expecting someone to make you happy, that's not going to happen. Only you can make you happy. And so start focusing on that. You get to make you happy by just being you. No pretending, just you. All right. Judy, no worries. Better late than never. All right, Jackie. You guys are doing great. I'm so proud of you. All right, Jackie, you have the Moonlight Goddess. Look at her. Gosh, love the wings on her. So the Moonlight Goddess has a lot of warrior energy, but that warrior energy comes from repressed emotions she's held onto, and I feel them coming through. So that repressed anger, that repressed frustration, that repressed feeling of what the heck, you know, that is ready to be healed. And the way we heal it is to just take a deep breath and notice when those emotions come up. Are they in balance with the situation? Or I wonder why that was all out of balance. What does this remind me of? Or when was the first time I felt this way? Or when was the last time I felt like this? And give yourself permission to heal the old energy and to stop being so hard on yourself about feeling so much. And if you need help healing, remember that most women are connected strongly to the energy of the moon. Men are too. I don't want to say just women. But for eons, our energy has been run by the connection between the moon and the earth. It's how our cycles would flow, right? And so use your moon power to help you release these emotions. So if your strongest energy is at the full moon, use the full moon to do the release. If your strongest energy is at the new moon, when there's no moon at all in the sky, then use that. And if you're not sure, sit in each energy, feel how you feel on the day of the new moon, and decide if this is the perfect time for you to release. But you can also use tonight because it is Halloween, and There are many of us connected to the sacred cycles of the earth religions from our past lives. And so this is a time when you could release those energies connected to those emotions that are kind of getting in your way a little bit. All right. Okay, Deborah. Nice to see you again, dear. Your card is Remembrance. Nice. So the Remembrance card is kind of similar to Jackie's, but it's a resurfacing. It's like your past feelings and emotions start to like wash up on the shore. They start to come forward almost out of nowhere. And again, it's the energy that's going on around for Halloween. You know, the energy that of past feelings that we thought were long dead may resurface. It's like, why am I upset about this? This is so long ago. Well, it's because it didn't get its full expression when you needed to. So this is a time for you to honor any past feelings or emotions that are coming up. Give them a moment of gratitude for them showing you the parts of you that you haven't healed yet, and allowing the sacred energy to move through that. I'm seeing you drumming your way through this as well. Must be a big night for drums. So just allowing that to truly let those old emotions come up, feel them, and move through them. And then you won't have them stuck in your body any longer. Nice. All right. Hi, Andrew. How you doing, sweetie? Nice. So your card, dear, is the Message. Notice the beautiful dove and the divine energy and the trees that also look like people on the sides. So this card is all about the divine message coming through. It's a sign of positive news coming your way and a positive outcome, like something that you've just been really working toward and working for and really trying to create. That's all about to take root and happen. Release any doubt that you have attached to this, because if we doubt, we slow the positive energy from flowing in as quickly. So if you imagine it as already done, as already complete, and boom, it is, then it will be. But this seems like really cool energy for you, sweetie. And I know that, this has been a struggle recently for you. So I'm loving that there's some beautiful divine intervention coming in to shed some positive energy and light your way. Perfect. And give hugs to those boys when you see them. All right. So I hope Tara is how you say the name, and if not, I apologize for saying that incorrectly. So your card, Tara, is Evolution, and I don't know if you can see, but there are 3 suns, and that's important because we have 3 selves. We have our survival self, we have our aware self, and we have our awake self. I basically think of it as me, myself, and I. So when we are going through evolution, the earth is going through this period of transformation. And, we may not realize that's what it is, but, for those of you who've been near like the coastline in the last few years, how the storms are starting to reshape the coastline. How many huge storms are changing what the earth actually looks like right now. How the climate is changing, how there are, here in Massachusetts, there are sharks at Cape Cod where they never The water used to be too cold for that, and now it's warmed up, and so they are there. They've been present. The seals were here, which was never, it was a rare occurrence. Now it was huge this summer. So when the earth is doing all this big changing, we're on the earth plane. So that change is vibrating through our being, whether we want to experience change or not. So this is a time for ourselves to go through an evolution as well. It's a time to shed the parts of you that aren't really you, the parts of you that other people have placed on you. People have wanted certain expectations. I feel like there have been all these expectations placed on you, and it's burdensome. It's so heavy. And how on earth can you live up to someone else's ideal of who you should be? Sweetie, it's your life. So if you hear nothing else out of me, this is your life. You and only you get to choose how you're going to live it. And live from your heart. Love what you do so that you can love who you be. And that's something we all are meant to do. And the older we get, the more we forget. But we are here just to be love, share love. So anything that has you tied up in knots, worried, confused, whatever it is, let their definition of you go. You know inside your soul, inside your heart, who you are meant to be. And that is what the divine has wanted for you this whole time. You, be you. Okay? All right. Oh, I'm so glad you're home, Ingrid, after your surgery. And of course, I've got a card for you. Let's see what we have to say. Ooh, not what I was expecting for you. So you got the Temptress card. So the Temptress is the card that has seduction, deceit, and a broken promise. Now, you can be the seductress by saying something and then not following through on it, being very charismatic about it. Or there can be somebody who made some promises to you, and you probably knew the minute they fell out of that person's mouth that they weren't going to follow through. There was just some piece of you that just sort of knew it was too good to be true. So what happens is people say what we want to hear a lot, mostly because they're uncomfortable with speaking the truth. Isn't that strange? We would rather tell lies than tell the truth. But that's what's happened here. And in that, your feelings get hurt because somebody said they were going to do something and they are definitely not going to do it. But all of this was because there was like this charming energy around it. And it was people pleasing, like saying what you need to say or saying what somebody else wants to hear. And maybe in the moment, they meant to keep the promise when they said it. But intrinsically, you know that wasn't going to happen. So whether that is on your end or the other end, my team is not letting me see. And it doesn't matter to me. So that's probably why. Just know that we all do this from time to time because, we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or we really wish we could keep the promise. But it stretches us and we do it just to make them happy. And then in the end, we make them unhappy. So that's the energy that's coming up. So don't let this stop your healing from your surgery. You make sure you focus on you and releasing anything that needs clearing from that. And if you have any side effects, grogginess, swelling that lasts longer than it's supposed to, you reach out to me personally because I can help clear any energy that you may have picked up from the surgery itself. No, Rob, I gave one to you and to Julie. Oh, maybe I didn't. I did skip you. All right. I looked back at it and I did skip you. Was the dream? No, the card about dreams was Julie's. I did not pull the card for Rob. So, sorry, Rob. You had to wait. So your card is purification through fire. So yeah, sometimes we have to go through fire to get to the truth, right? We got to walk through it. This is about shedding all the lies, shedding all the ways that you cover up who you really are. They're sort of showing me this like you're cloaked. You know, you have masks and you have all these clothes on that's like they're all protecting you from having people see who you really are. Cut that out. First of all, we can see through it anyways, so it's not doing you any good. And in anything, it makes everybody uncomfortable around you because they can tell you're all covered up. You're not being you. So cut that crap out. And the purification through fire means you have to go through a lot of stuff to really get to your truth because you haven't been letting it go any other way. You haven't been letting it go by using an emotional release. You've been worried about losing control, is what I'm hearing. You know, if I let that go, who knows what will happen? Well, then you're going to create what will happen through fire, because fire has a lot of anger and rage energy attached to it. But this is about you going through, you know, the depths of hell to find who you truly are. And I feel like you've already walked through a lot of the fire. Now take off all the armor and just be Rob. We can all see you all cloaked up. That's not working for you. And we welcome you and your gentle heart and all that you're meant to share through your music, because that's going to be healing for you and it's healing for others. Okay? All right. Yes, no, you did not get the same card. Nice. I hope you got that. All right, so Marie, nice to see you. So your card, sweetheart, is rising above. So the rising above card is about getting a higher perspective. When we're in the midst of things, we get really caught in all of everybody else's energy. You know, their thoughts on it, their ideas, and then we get spinning. Like all I keep seeing is like your head's spinning and not being able to sleep and just being really distracted and you can't come up with it. So when you rise above the situation, you energetically take yourself out of it and you look at it from an outside person's point of view where it doesn't impact you. It has nothing to do with you. And that'll give you a space to get some clarity. And when you have that freedom, that separation of it has nothing to do with you, then the solution can kind of pop right in. But when our ego is like, oh no, what if this happens and that's going to happen to me? Then we really get in our own way. So you need to detach from the energy. If you need to do it in a way where you pretend like it's happening to a friend and they've come to you for advice, look at it outside of you, or use meditation to really get yourself above it and into this clear clarity space. This is using just your third eye, the real intuitive piece of you. And if what comes through has any judgment energy to it, it's not your higher self. Okay? So the clarity comes through in like this, and it's usually a really easy, simple solution because the divine doesn't ever make anything hard. Okay? Nice. All right. Hi, Don. Glad you're with us again. So your card, my dear, is Night Wind. So the winds of change. This is all about the winds of change blowing. And when the winds of change are blowing, that's usually a time, when we're in the darkness, we get a little anxious. We have to face our fears. Like remember when we were kids and we would see things in the shadow and then you would flash a flashlight on it and it's really just like a shirt hanging off a chair. This is a time for you to kind of face your fears, and in your subconscious, you get to release them and get some healing. You might experience this in the dream state because sometimes we're not skilled at doing it sort of in the light of day. So like I suggested to Julie, I believe it was, keep a dream journal. So if things come to you in your dreams, then you can write it down and it can help you work through things. You also have some relatives that are on the other side, especially our sister-in-law, our shared sister-in-law. And, she was Chatty Cathy, right? So she's more than willing to help out if you would let her, and she'll come to you in the dream state. I don't think you're hearing her when she's trying to chat with you during the day. I don't always hear her either. So during the day, I hear her in dream time or very close to dream time. So allow the dreams and the nighttime to be a time for you to get your messages and for you to realize what fears you're holding on to that are really blocking you from moving forward. It feels like there's a fear of being alone, and that there's a fear of not deserving to have what you need in life, because maybe you feel like you've got to hold on to what you've got, like there isn't enough to share. And that maybe, the family dynamic is shifting, and maybe that is causing some distress for you. There's definitely some hard feelings that are going on. And it's time for you to let go your end of that and find a way to repair your relationship with your siblings, especially because, pretty soon it'll be just you guys. And, our kids are there for us, but not the way that our siblings are, right? You don't want to be a burden to your children, but your siblings can be that like support system for you. And, time is short. All right. All right. And let's see. Cindy Lynn, I'm pretty sure. I thought I pulled a card for you already. Will you ever find true happiness? Yes, dear, it's inside of you. That's a thing that people say to me. Will I ever find true happiness? Yes, as soon as you look inside you for it. Nobody else is holding your happiness for you. No one else can make you happy. Only you can make you happy. And the crossroads are not a bad thing. Crossroads are cool and pick the road that seems most scary. Because there's the biggest reward at the end of that one. When we try to do things the easy way, it always ends up twice as hard. When we do the path that seems impossible, usually it's like a breeze and there's some cool things waiting for us. So nice. I'm so glad you guys said so. So I'm just going to put this up quickly. Neshley's saying, this is my website, Trinity Healing Sanctuaries. And Margaret, nice. Get yours in there. If you haven't gotten a card pulled yet, and you just make sure your name is up, I'm going to read until we're done. So your purification is happening through water. Rob had to do it through fire. You're doing it through water. So when we do the purification through water, remember, fire had more anger to it. Water has more tears. This is time for you to let your emotions flow. When you allow that to happen, you will start to feel the release and rejuvenated. We hold on to our tears in so many different ways. We hold on to our sadness and our grief because we don't have time to express it, or people don't understand the depths of our feelings. And if you can't really have that emotional release, or you don't feel like that is as easy for you, then do a sacred bathing ritual. Take a beautiful bath and, put in rose oil or rose petals, because that heals the wounded pieces of ourselves inside. And if you use rose petals, make sure that you burn them after they've dried, thanking them for all the emotions and the energy that they've taken for you. You can light candles, but allow that time for you to be in communion with your soul and allow all of the energy to flow into the water. You can do it in a shower as well, but you want to think about the sanctity of the cleansing of the water as it washes over you. And there's nothing like rose for healing. It is so connected to Mother Mary, and you can call her in to help you with that cleansing and release. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed your goddess oil. Yes, if you guys haven't seen the Trinity Healing Blends yet, the spiritual oils help you connect to the energies. I'm so glad you got it. Nice. All right. So it looks like I got through everyone. So you guys, thanks for hanging in to the very end. You have a beautiful Halloween, and join us every day for the live card draw at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central with Neshi, because that on our regular fan page. And I will be back here for chakra sessions next Tuesday at noon, and next Wednesday evening for Soul Connections. And with that, guys, have a beautiful, blessed Halloween, and I'll see you soon.